Hi, I'm Jenny Jeffries and I'm the author of For the Love of the Land. I'm going to be talking live to Gareth Wynne Jones. Um, and yes, hello Gareth. If you just click on request to join and then it should give us a split screen. So hi Gareth, if you just click on the bottom at the bottom of your screen, the button at the bottom, there should be a label that says sent a view request. If you try clicking it again, Gareth, see if that works. There we go. Hi Gareth, how are you?
I'm all right.
Prenanda.
Well, I had a little bit of help from them too, or I wouldn't have done it.
Oh, fantastic. Can you hear me okay?
Fantastic, yeah, great.
Fantastic. So,
Oh,
how are you doing, Gareth? What is life like on the farm today?
wet, wild, cold.
So you are such an extremely passionate and authentic voice for British agriculture, and it really is truly wonderful to see and how you invite people to come onto your farm to watch how the farm grows and to see what you do. And it's a real privilege, I think, for the general public to get a real insight into what you do on the farm. So what's happening at the moment on the farm? What are you preparing for at the moment?
So the sheep are in off the mountains now for the winter. So the cows are in the sheds as well. So everything's feeding at the moment. We're preparing for next Wednesday where we'll be chipping some about 45 to 50 Carneddau colts and big ones that weren't quite, good enough to do the mountain for the winter. So they'll all be chipped on Wednesday and rehomed. So it's always a busy time, to be honest with you. I'm still over my hangover. We were in London on Wednesday evening, in the Victoria Albert Museum, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, that was one hell of an eye opener. Yeah, the game and Wildlife and Conservation Trust gave us an invitation. I was representing Wales down there. We had a wonderful table, fantastic, beautiful people, and made a lot of really good contacts and many new friends as well. And
Yeah.
sometimes when you go to these places, you're not too sure. I'm quite a confident person, to be honest with you, but my wife gets a little bit apprehensive, when you go into these like big do's. But everybody was very down to earth and really nice. So yeah, we're getting over that up, and then we come back home then to clean some sheep's bums. So this.
So completely two different worlds apart. Fantastic. It looked like a really special black tie event, and really special, as you say, like being with all these other like-minded people. It must have been really special actually to get an opportunity to meet people that you would not necessarily see on social media and so forth.
And I believe as well, we've been pretty slow jumping onto the social media bandwagon as farmers for agriculture. We're beginning to get momentum now, and we need people. We need young, fresh people with new ideas, innovative people that can tell their stories. We need for people to understand how the countryside works.
Yeah.
It's not all cotton wool. Food production has a cost to something all the time. Something will have to pay a cost for us to produce food. And I think people need to understand that. I'd love my farm to be wind in the willows, but every day something dies here. It's a
Yeah.
sheep.
Yeah.
But it's part and parcel of what we do as well. And for me, that honesty is the best policy, to share our lives so people have an understanding. There's different costs to producing food, and I mean, not just the cost as financially. I mean, sometimes the cost physically, mentally, and emotionally to the people that are working the land.
Absolutely. And I think you touched on about the circle of life and really sort of informing people, and education is so paramount and so important, and to ignite the enthusiasm in the younger generation to really come on board and to share all of our stories and where food comes from and food provenance. And I think you do an exceptional way of sharing that with everybody. I think social media is such a fantastic positive platform when it's treated with respect, and I think you do that exceptionally, and it's wonderful to see such a massive following. I think it shows that the general public are really on board with British farming now more than ever before. In what way can the general public support British farmers now?
By buying our produce, you know, that's
Yeah.
the best way they can do it. And as well, supporting us with their politicians. I think we need policies within government to support what we're doing. You know, we've got quite a few farms in Wales now being sold to big multinational companies, so they're offsetting their carbon. That can't be right. That can't be right. You know, they're taking family farms away from people that can make a living, so they can plant trees, so they can carry on doing the dirty work. These are the things that we need to be heard about. And, you know, for me, I've been very frustrated over the last 3 or 4 years. I think agriculture has had a hard time, you know, in mainstream media, especially livestock side of it, you know, red meat especially, is really targeted. Dairy as well, you know, trying to say that we're the biggest climate polluters there is, and it's miles away from it, absolutely miles away from it. You know, we have to understand that 84% of our problems comes from fossil fuels. You know, that's the true reality of where we're living. But we're an easy target, you know, and a lot of the mainstream media, a lot of these environmentalists have been targeting agriculture because they're able to, and that's why I feel so passionate and so strong. My family has been on this land 375 years. My great grandmother would have sat in this exact beams in here. She would have sat in here 375 years ago. Her name was Alice Cadwallader, and she was a hell of a woman. She was killed by a goose in the end, but that's another story. That's one for my immersive tours. But these are the, you know, this is the history we have in our country. You know, environmentally friendly and sustainable food has to be part of the whole structure for Britain going forward. And, you know, building a better Britain on our bellies is where we should be. You know, all these foods that we're growing are so nutritionally important for us as people to be happy, to be healthy, to be fit. And if we can get that message across, instead of these over-processed food companies that have got millions that are able to, you know, bombard social media, television adverts, all kinds of misleading information, then we're doing our job. And that's where I feel, you know, we need to get up and pull together as an industry, as a country, and be driven forward.
Definitely. I think you touched on a real main message there for people: to buy local, to buy seasonal, to buy sustainably, and above all, to buy British. And anything that we can do to help and to get together to really drive that message home, and to ignore all this distraction by all these people who aren't informed as well as you are. And it was such a lovely story about your great grandmother. I mean, it's just beautiful to have that heritage. And I think there's such a rich tapestry within our country that really has a lot of heritage, tradition and culture within the British agriculture community. And, you know, it's almost as if we're at a crossroads where some of that is in danger of being lost. What do you think is the future of British farming?
I think it's a good future. I think we have to, there's things we have to do and change, you know, within the industry. There's no doubt in my mind. I think as well within society we have to waste less. You know, there's so much of the food that we're producing going, you know, to waste. And I'm not just saying that's in households, but as well the food that we're producing on farm sometimes. You know, the supermarkets will say, oh, we don't want them wonky carrots, or that doesn't quite come to. We have to really address these things. You know, I've seen farmers topping 200 acres of top quality broccoli, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, where are these things? Ploughing in, you know, carrots, acres and acres of it. It can't be sustainable, that. We need that within our society, that we know that everything that we're producing has a market to it, or we shouldn't be producing it. You know, supermarkets have got a big, I'm not a fan of them, they've got a big role to play here. They cannot be wasting food on a mass scale. And I think, you know, farmers need to get up and show these things. I know it's scary for them because the supermarket has you by the throat, really, because, you know, if they, well, Tesco's didn't turn up, or Asda didn't turn up to buy 100 tons of carrots, well, they're not going to turn up next week to buy 100 tons of carrots. But I think if the consumer and the customer understands the struggles of them farmers, you know, to grow that product and then just to have to cut it or plough it back into the land, it's definitely not sustainable. And these are all the things that we have to really, really look at properly within our bigger food chains. And again, you know, I think we need to look back at how our forefathers did it. In my village here, there would have been 3 little abattoirs, 3 butcher shops, and everything would have been killed locally. And that's something I'd like to see coming back. I've been speaking to a few people, and I think, you know, imagine if you had a mobile unit. They do it in New Zealand, a mobile unit that would come, let's say, onto my farm, and let's say I put an order, I put an advert on Facebook, for example, and say, right, I've got 30 lambs being killed on Saturday. Who wants? Everybody puts either a deposit or pays in full for that lamb. I just put it into the yard, the lorry rolls up, they're killed, they're boxed, refrigerated, however we use it, and the people pick it up in 2 days. Imagine how much less stress there is on the animal, how good that is for the environment, the less, you know, traveling we're doing. You know, the carbon catchment in these creatures is absolutely fantastic. These are the things that we really have to look at to go more sustainable. And, you know, everybody's got a freezer today. Okay, maybe your lamb's going to cost you 120, 140 pounds, but that meat is so nutritious and goes such a long way. You know, and understanding, as you know, with the book, you know, it's understanding how to use every single piece of that animal, so we utilize it. We're celebrating the life of that animal by eating every piece of it. You know, it's not just the best ends. Every single piece cooked properly can be as good as anything.
Definitely. I think you touched on quite a few points there. And I remember going to Malawi in Africa, and we went to a chicken market, a food market, and we bought a chicken and we put it in the back of the car and we took it home, and I was careful not to give it a name or anything. And they slit its throat, they drained the blood, they plucked all the feathers out, they cooked it, and they ate every single scrap of that chicken apart from the beak and the chicken feet. And I'm not suggesting that we start eating chicken feet, but I think you're absolutely right. You know, we have to have the respect for the animal and to really understand its provenance and where it's come from, to really respect and to really enjoy the food even more so. And the supermarkets do have a massive social responsibility in the food chain to make it fair for everybody involved, especially the farmers, and they do not get enough credit at all. Hence the book that you briefly mentioned. As well as the farm and the produce, I think it's quite important and necessary to make diversification on the farm in order to not just survive but to thrive, especially in this day and age. How has your farm diversified?
You're going to need a week. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, so we've tried quite a few ways. I seen there was a niche to do television and radio work. I use a lot of social media as well. But about 7 years ago, we had a company approach us called Rick Steves Travels. Rick Steves is the 3rd biggest operator out of America into Europe. He has about 150 odd tour guides in Europe. And, you know, it's a big, big company. So they phoned us up and said we'd be interested in just having a few tours. So, you know, me as I am, yeah, well, let's do it. My wife was going, okay, do you know what you're going to do? So I said, I'll think of something, you know, thinking on you, doing it sometimes, you know, who
Yeah.
dares? But the Inman was the lovely lady that contacted them, said about sending somebody out there. So they sent me an itinerary of 12 tours the first year. Which was a little bit scary when my wife said, you're sure what you're going to do? So they came, I gave them an introduction, spoke about, you know, how we farmed up here. And then I gave them a sheepdog demonstration, a shearing demonstration. And believe it or not, I'm one of the highest paid tour guides they've got by now. And if you look at their website, Rick Steve's website, 84.4% of the wow factor in Great Britain is not Blenheim Palace or Hadrian's Wall, but it's our farm. So, doesn't it? You know, that immersing these people within my life and do here. It's just so important because I've lost the contact with food production, with farming, with seasons, with the land, and they want it back. That's in our DNA. We forget that.
Yeah.
That's in everybody. It's, you know, 80% of people now live in cities.
Mm-hmm.
They're far removed from how food's produced and what's seasonal, because everything in the supermarkets, they're all the year round.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, you know, the first strawberries of the year up on a farm and raspberries, oh my God, just blow your mind.
Yeah.
And the tomatoes, the new potatoes, as these things come into their, you know, season, the taste is just unreal. And you go into a supermarket, you buy a punnet of strawberries in December, and yeah, it's just like eating putty or cardboard or water, in my opinion. There's no real taste to it.
Yeah.
That sometimes is missing. And I think there's a lot to be said about something that's ready in its time, you know, that seasonality for
Definitely.
you to the nutrients. And as well, you know, there's going to be a lot lower carbon footprint on that strawberry than the one that's forced in some greenhouse somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I think essentially our generation has completely become disconnected with Mother Earth. It's as simple as that, I think. And I think, you know, you're doing everything you can to educate and inform people. And it's such a privilege to be welcomed into your world, onto your farm. Even so far as sharing your cooking as well, which is just wonderful. And you're really flying the flag for Welsh produce, though, which is lovely. And you show what you've grown in your own garden, and you harvest it and you bring it into your kitchen, and it's that whole process of growing and watching it grow and thrive, and then harvesting it and making it into something really nutritious and seasonal and sustainable. Where do you get your inspiration from for cooking and having a go, and, you know, just having a go at harvesting and cooking your own food that you've grown yourself?
I just, since a boy, you know, my father, exactly the same. My father's 86, and, you know, as a boy, I would follow him into our little allotment down here, and I'd be weeding, I'd be watching, I'd be understanding how the crop little rotations and how, you know, we grow things in different stages. And it was just something that I really enjoyed. And one of the most amazing things now, you know, as a grown man, as a father, as a husband, is go into that field, that little piece of land I've got, and it's only a small piece, and picking everything for our Sunday dinner, and knowing that everything that I'm feeding my family is I've produced with my own hands on my own land, and it's I can't explain to you how that is so fulfilling.
Yes.
Really make me feel good as a person. And, you know, when we get friends here as well, and the Rick Steve's tours in the summer, you know, we feed them with everything that's produced off the farm. And we even use a local vineyard down the road, Gwynllan Conway, and they are amazing. We've got some local beers as well. So everything within that area within that local sustainable area, they get to try. And the Americans love it.
Yeah.
But I've diversified into a few things as well. And you know, there's a few people that I want to mention. You know, my father's one, my wife's another one. We've come across so many people on our tours, which have been really, really fantastic. But another person I'd like to mention is Zena, who does these
Yeah.
on here. Now,
did you get your jumper? Have you had your jumper yet?
Christmas 2025. Don't tell us you'll bloody kill me. No, I think it'll be ready. She's really working hard on it. This is so good. This is what we've forgotten, the skill set. Everything she's producing is handmade. You know, it's from wool from the local area. And she's just, this was for my birthday this year. And it's just so absolutely amazing as a rug. And I was so frustrated with the price we were getting for wool. Social media, you know, it was in the spring. I get a message off Zena saying she wants to keep some sheep, and she wanted to have an understanding of how to, you know, do the lambing. So I said, yeah, listen, come up and I'll show you. So she came up for 2 days and absolutely loved it. She's really very, very intelligent. She picked it up very, very quickly. But she then took that into a new level. You know, she had her own sheep and things, but she took it into a new level. You could see that there was an opportunity here, a market for this product. And, you know, she's sold these rugs and blankets, throwovers, everywhere around this country now. And, you know, she's making cushions. She made me a pair of socks that I really like. Well, they're more like slippers. But we were getting 16 pence per fleece. She's turned that around. I'm not charging her for the fleeces because, you know, it's pennies for us. But every fleece she uses, it takes another fleece off that market. And if we can have more of these little small cottage industries producing more rugs, more socks, more jumpers, more whatever it is with wool. You know, I use it on my allotment. You've seen my little growing space. I put that. I'm making a shepherd's hut at the moment for next year. So if you want to come and stay in Wales anytime in next season, 2022, I'll have a shepherd's hut which will be insulated with wool cool. Another that, you know, I'm working with because they're fantastic as well. So, you know, all this interconnection, all these hubs of people working together will make us stronger. And I think this is important. If we can interact with people, you know, Zena's bringing this Russian skill set from her country. And this is, I hate to say it, this is what we've lost here. We've got a generation of that, of our knitters and weavers and printers, you know, these people that felt and make real good products out of our wool. We need them back. And they're there if we can teach, you know, the next generation some of the skill set. So it's, you know, there's a lot to, I think, farm that people don't see on the outer circle. Not just the food, you know. Leather to wool, you know, there's so much more to agriculture than just the food producing.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting and really poignant that it's Black Friday today, which is just a mass consumerism campaign, which is just, in my humble opinion, and I'm sure you agree, is just insane and just completely unnecessary. And the way you've touched on these real individual independent cottage skill sets that we're almost losing a generation of is just heartbreaking. You know, we thrive off of these industries and these small businesses, and everything that we see and touch and eat and feel is just produced with so much love and with so much time and preparation and so much hardship, that it should be shared and celebrated. And I think, you know, talking about it like today gets the message out there to really support independent businesses. you're supporting not just a family but a whole generation of skill, which really needs to be supported. What's your main message to people who are joining today to listen to you speak? Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, do you know what? Just enjoy life every day. You know, my hashtag is living the dream, and I feel fortunate, you know, I get to do something that I enjoy every single day. And if it doesn't serve you, let it go. You have to let it go. Don't let it fester.
Yeah.
Very, very short. You know, we never know what's around the corner. And I came to like an epiphany moment quite a few years ago, and it was when I lost two good friends, and it made me realise that every day we're on this earth is a bonus.
Yeah.
We never around the corner. We never know. So enjoy it, you know, and just live life every single day. I'm not saying like it's going to be a last, but just make sure that you are enjoying it. And I know, you know, we do get tough times, we get tough days, and sometimes, you know, we all need that time out. And one of the things that I found in getting older is, and you're going to laugh now, I don't think I've told this out generally, I've been doing some meditation. Like,
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. How's that going?
oh yeah, it's so so I've just done a program. I can't say too much, but
Yeah.
it's a Welsh program, and there was a lovely lady on that, and we all hugged the tree. Okay, it sounds crazy. Okay, for a farmer to say this is going to take a lot of guts.
Yeah.
I didn't really get anything out of hugging the tree. I'm not going to lie. It was fun, and it was, you know, but this lady found her, you know, there was peace for her in that. So my wife does a little bit of yoga and meditation. So I sat up in the bedroom with her, and I did the first meditation off the phone, you know, just listening to a meditation. And I had a slight out of body experience, which is like,
Amazing.
we'll get it on the first thing, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit different, but it was.
A bit on that. Yeah.
But whatever floats your boat, and I've done it a few times now, and I tend to love the mountains. You know, that's my place.
Yeah.
Special place that I go quite often when, you know, you've had a bit of a crap day and things are, you know, building up on top of you, because we all get them. So I'm going there now, and I'm doing a little bit of my meditation there if the weather's, you know, okay.
Yeah.
And listen, I feel better for it. So it's just finding that little niche that you think is right, and not being afraid of talking about it. You know, stigma within mental health has been pretty bad, I think, and we're beginning to turn a corner.
Yeah.
I've become an ambassador for FCN, the Farming Community Network, and you know, I've come across so many people that have struggled, but they're beginning to talk about it, and that's another big thing that we should always remember. There's someone there to listen, to talk to, and don't ever get that dark that, you know, that you want to leave this world. You know, just think about it. Talk to a friend. Look for your Julie. However you look for it, it's something within us all. We can all help each other on this journey of life. Healthy food, of course, is another big part of where I would tell everybody to look within themselves as well. Eat less processed rubbish, and just go for it. Just go for it. If there is a door opening for you, you're not too sure, go through it, because that's what I've done all my life. I've gone through them at 100 miles an hour, and I don't regret any of them. Maybe one, but I don't really regret it. But I should have closed the door behind me, like shutting the gates.
I think it's amazing and very brave of you to share that as well. So thank you so much. And I think it's wonderful that people have their own avenue and their own journey and their own sources of connection and comfort. And I think whatever works for you is fantastic. And what an amazing organisation to be an ambassador for. I was startled and astonished to learn that every week there's one suicide within the British farming community, which is just awful. And anything that people can do to open up, to talk, to engage, to talk about your problems, to go out and have a walk every day, to eat good food, it must all help and come as a complete package, you know, to be a very sort of full, well-rounded human being. I think it's all very important. And I think, Gareth, you are definitely living the dream. Definitely. But thank you so much for joining me today. It's been really lovely to chat to you, and hope to meet you one day. And likewise, if you're ever down here, come and stay with us in South Cambridgeshire. And I hope you've recovered from your hangover from London.
Yeah, you don't get much time here to recover. The cobwebs are blown off straight away on these mountains, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I bet.
It's nice
Fantastic.
to live. Yeah, nice to live two lives sometimes, that you do get a chance to see how the other half live.
Yeah, definitely. Well, all best of luck to you, Gareth, and I look forward to seeing more posts on social media. And thank you for letting the whole world into your world. It means a lot. So bye for now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.